Good morning, students. Today we will learn the multiplication of vectors. But before going to multiplication of vectors, we have seen in the last class how any vector can be represented as the sum of components taken along the x, y, and z axis, the three axes of the rectangular coordinate system. Today we will see how we can easily add or subtract vectors if they are represented in that coordinate form. And then we will see the multiplication of vectors, two types of multiplication, the scalar product, vector product, and we can easily solve them using the component form. So let us represent any vector in the component form and see how we can add them very easily compared to the previous graphical way. So addition of vectors in component form means if a vector is represented in the form of components taken along the x, y, and z axis. Remember, what are the unit vectors along x, y, and z axis? I, j, and k. So if I have any vector a, I can represent it as axi unit vector plus ayj plus azk, where ax, ay, and az are the length of these vectors along the x, y, and z direction. Now, suppose I have another vector b, which is equal to bxi plus byj plus bzk, where bx, by, bz are the components of vector b along the x, y, and z direction. Now, if we just want to add these two vectors, a plus b, you just have to add these components along the x and y direction. So what you can do is ax plus bx, I plus ay plus byj plus az plus bzk. So you can represent it as ax plus bx along I direction plus ay plus by along j direction plus az plus bz along k direction. Now, to show this with an example, let me consider two vectors. Suppose we have a vector p which is equal to 2i minus 3j plus 4k. This is one vector. Another vector q is equal to I plus 2k. Now we have to find p plus q. So you will use this idea. So to find vector p plus vector q, what are the x coordinate here? 2. And if it is just I, it means 1i. So you can take this as 1. So you can write here 2 plus 1 into r plus, now what are the j coordinates? Here it is minus 3. So you have to take minus 3. Is there a j coordinate here? No. So you can take it as 0. So minus 3 plus 0, j plus, here you have 4 and here you have 2. 4 plus 2, k. Okay, so this is equal to 2 plus 1 is 3. So you have it as I minus 3 plus 0 is minus 3. So minus 3 j, 4 plus 2 is 6. So plus 6k. So you got vector p plus q. Now how can you find the magnitude of the resultant? P plus q, that is the sum of two vectors, are usually called the resultant, right? So what is the, let me call this as the resultant vector. Now my question is how we can find the magnitude of this resultant. Can you tell me how to find the magnitude of the resultant. How to find the magnitude? Yes, Jamal. Root over
coordinate of I square. I mean, yeah, coefficient of I square.
Yes. Plus.
Plus minus 3 whole square.
Yes.
Plus 6 whole square.
Yes. So you just have to take each of them, take their square and take the root over. So you will get the magnitude of the resultant as equal to root over 3 square is 9 plus minus 3 square is also 9. Minus times minus will be plus. So plus 9 plus 6 square is 36. 36. And you can add all of them. So 18 plus 36, can you add together and tell? 14 for one balance. So 5, 54. So root over 54. Now this is how we will represent the magnitude of the resultant. How can you represent the direction of the resultant? How can you represent the direction? Always, to represent the direction of a vector, we have to take the idea of unit vector. To represent the direction of the vector, we can tell that the unit vector of resultant means it will be inner direction of this unit vector, where r cap is equal to vector r divided by the magnitude of vector. So this is equal to, you just have to write the vector as such. This is 3i minus 3j plus 6k divided by, now the magnitude is root over 54. So if you are asked to find the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector, you can find the magnitude like this and the direction is just the unit vector. So you have to write it like this, that's it. So is it clear how easily we can add two vectors if they are represented in the component form? Is this clear to you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now the same thing you can do if it is subtraction of vectors. So I'm not rubbing the whole thing, Just you have vector A and vector B. So vector A and vector B is that if you want to subtract them. So the difference between vector A and B, or vector A minus vector B is equal to, you have to minus, that's all. Ax minus bxi plus ay minus byj plus az minus bzk. So let us take the example here. If you have these two vectors, vector p and vector q, if you are trying to find the difference, vector p minus vector q, this is equal to, you can tell me, how? 2 minus 1. So you can tell me. Here it is minus 3. There, no j component. So plus minus, it should be minus 0 j plus, here it is 4 minus 2 k. So this is equal to 2 minus 1. So 1i or just I, minus 3 minus 0. So minus 3j. 4 minus 2 is 2. So plus 2k. So you got the difference. So how will you find the magnitude of the difference? Magnitude of the difference is equal to, you just have to take root over, here it is 1, so 1 square plus minus 3 square plus 2 square. So you will get it as equal to magnitude of the difference is equal to 1 square is 1, 1 plus root over 1 plus minus 3 square is 9 plus 2 square is 4. So this is equal to root over 14. So how can you represent the direction of the difference? Direction of the difference? How will you represent? You can represent it by the unit vector, right? So just unit vector along this. So let me represent this as C. So unit vector along C is equal to, you can write the difference as such, the vector divided by its magnitude. So if I take P minus Q as vector C, I can write it as vector C divided by the magnitude. So vector C is equal to I minus 3j plus 2k divided by root over 40. Is it clear how easily we can add and subtract vectors if they are given in the component form? Is it clear to you?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay. So let us easily move into the multiplication of vectors. How we can multiply two vectors, and also how we can multiply a scalar quantity with a vector. For example, multiplication of vectors, multiplication of vectors can be of two ways. One, it can be multiplication of a scalar with a vector, or it can be multiplication of a vector with a vector. And multiplication of a vector with vector, if you multiply a vector with vector, you can either get a scalar quantity as the product, or you can get a vector quantity as a product, depending upon the way in which you multiply. So this itself can be of two types. One we call the scalar product or the dot product, and the other one we call the vector product or the cross product. So first, let us see how we can multiply a scalar quantity with a vector. Suppose I have a scalar quantity m and a vector a. Okay, so m into vector a, I will write it as m into, in the component form, I can write vector a as axi plus ayj plus azk. So you have to multiply each of these components with the scalar m. So this will become equal to max I plus may j plus maz k. See, there is ijk direction, which means this is a vector. So whenever you multiply a scalar quantity with a vector, the product will be a vector. In practical case, let me take the case of force. What is force? Force is a vector, right? And there is a formula for force, which is the multiplication of a scalar with a vector. Do you remember that formula? What is force? Force is equal to
MA.
MA. M is mass, which is a scalar quantity. A is acceleration, which is a vector quantity. So this is an example where a scalar quantity is multiplied with a vector quantity, and as a result, you will get a vector quantity. For example, if you are asked a word question, a word problem, where you are asked to find the force required to bring about an acceleration of A is equal to, suppose, 3I minus 2J plus 4K on a mass of 3 kilograms. So what is the force required to bring about an acceleration of this much on a mass which is 3 kilograms. So if you are asked like this, you can directly use this method. You can write that the force F is equal to MA, which is equal to mass 3 kilogram. You have to multiply with each of these components. So you will have to multiply 3 with 3. So this is 9I. Minus 2 times 3, minus 6J. 4 times 3, 12. So plus 12K. So that is how you can multiply a scalar quantity with a vector quantity. Is it clear to you? Is this clear to you?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, now let me go on fast and let us see how you can take the scalar product. Here you are multiplying a vector with a vector, but as a result, we get a scalar quantity. So let's see how it is done. So you call it the scalar product or otherwise the dot product. So scalar product or dot product. It is called dot product because it is represented with the dot. Suppose A is a vector, B is another vector. When you are finding the scalar product, you can write it as A dot B. And it is defined as equal to AB cos theta, where A is the magnitude of vector A, B is the magnitude of vector B, and theta is the angle between vector A and B. Do I have to represent here anything for direction? Do I have to represent here anything for direction? No, because this is not a vector, this is a scalar quantity. Now let us see how we can represent that in the graphical form. Suppose I have a vector A and a vector B and the angle between them is theta. So magnitude A is this length. So if this is vector, this is magnitude A. Now, if you consider a perpendicular drawn from here to here, this angle is 90 degree. So if you take theta is the angle between A and B, right? So what is B cos? This is the hypotenuse and this is the opposite side. Just for reference, let me represent it as CD. Okay, what is cos theta? Cos theta is equal to adjacent side, let this be O, OD divided by BC, right? Oh, sorry, OC. OD divided by OC, adjacent side by hypotenuse. But we know that this is equal to OD divided by what is OC? Magnitude of this vector B, right? So B cos theta, what is B cos theta? B cos theta is equal to OD, which means this distance is B cos theta. So the scalar product or dot product is magnitude of one vector times, you call this the projection of B over A. Why it is called the projection of B over A? If this is B, if you are just placing the shadow of this on A, it is called the projection of that vector on A. So that distance is B cos theta. So this is sometimes called the scalar product of two vectors is the magnitude of one vector multiplied by the projection of the second vector on the first vector. This is why it is called so. But you can just remember vector A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. Now let me tell you how it can be easily shown in the component form. So you have vector A, AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. Vector B is equal to BXI plus BYJ plus BZK. And then A dot B. I told that just to skip that writing part, AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. But you know that, right? So A dot B is equal to, you can, okay, before going to that, let me tell in terms of the unit vectors. What are the three unit vectors? I, J, and K. Now let us see what happens when we dot between them. Suppose I dot I is equal to what? I have a magnitude 1. Again, I have the magnitude 1 times cos. What is the angle between I and I? They are in the same direction. What's that? 0. What is cos 0? 1. So this is equal to 1. So I dot I is equal to 1. Similarly, J dot J is equal to what? 1. K dot K is also equal to 1 because they have the magnitudes 1 and the angle between them is 0. Cos 0 is 1. So I have I dot J dot J is equal to 1, K dot K also equal to 1. Now, suppose I'm trying to dot with other quantities. So I dot J. I has a magnitude 1, J has a magnitude 1 times cos. What is the angle between I and J? X-axis and Y-axis. What is the angle between them? What is it? Angle between X-axis and Y-axis.
90 degree.
90 degree. So cos 90. What is cos 90? 0. Yes, cos 90 is equal to 0. So 1 times 1 times 0 is equal to 0. So if you are taking the dot product with any other unit vector for I, it will be 0. So if you take I dot j, it will be equal to I dot k, it will be equal to j dot k because they are all perpendicular to each other. All of them will be equal to 0. So all these quantities are equal to 0. Same is the case if you reverse. J dot I is equal to K dot I is equal to K dot J is equal to 0. So when you are taking dot product with two unit vectors which are in perpendicular direction, it will be 0. So this is a particular case, but if I take any two vectors A and B, A dot B, if A dot B is equal to 0, that means A and B are perpendicular. So if you are asked to find, because cos 90 is equal to 0, so if you are asked to find whether two vectors are perpendicular or parallel to each other, you just have to take their dot product. If you take the dot product or scalar product, and if it turns out to be 0, you can say that those two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Is that clear to you?
Yes.
Okay. Now let us take the example of two vectors represented in the coordinate form and find their dot product. So let me take two examples. Okay. In physics, when we talk about work done, what is work done? Work done is equal to, you must have learned, work done is equal to force times displacement. Force times displacement. Force is a vector. Displacement also is a vector. But work done is a scalar quantity. So how they must be multiplied? They should be dot. Means the scalar product of force and displacement is the work done. So when we take the product of two vector quantities, we got a scalar quantity. Another example in physics is electric flux. Electric flux phi is equal to electric field dot surface area or area. Electric field is a vector. Area is taken as a vector in most cases in physics. So E dot A. This is the product of two vectors and you get a scalar quantity. So these are few examples where we consider the scalar product of two vectors. When you multiply two vectors, you get the scalar quantity as a result. Now let us take an example. Find out the work done if a force of F is equal to I minus 2j plus k acts on a force of this much acts on a particle which gets displaced by 2I plus j. Now let us see how we can take the dot product. So I told you before, if we have vectors A is equal to AXI plus AYJ plus AZK, and you have another vector B is equal to BXI plus BYJ plus BZK, and if you are taking the dot product A dot B, if they are in the component form, you can write it as equal to AX BX plus AY BY plus AZ BZ. Why I didn't put IJK? Why I didn't put IJK? Yes, Hasina?
Because we are finding out the vector cross product, right?
Is this cross product we are finding?
No, the dot product, sorry.
The dot product, so the result will be a scalar quantity. Dot product, it's a scalar quantity. IJK will be there showing direction for a vector. But when we are taking the dot product, the result will not be a vector, it will be a scalar. Since this is a scalar quantity, no need to put IJK. And I dot I is 1. So into 1, J dot J is 1, K dot K is 1. And whenever you are multiplying I dot J, it will be 0. So this term cancel. I dot K is 0. So this term cancel. J dot I is 0. So this term cancel. And J dot K is 0. So all the other products gets cancelled. So what remains is only this. So can we use this idea to find the work done? In this case, work done W is equal to here F dot S, right? And F and S are given. Tell me how we can do it. What is the component here? What is the magnitude of it? 1. So 1 times 2. 1 times 2 plus, what is the component here?
Minus 2
Times
1.
1 plus, what is the component here?
1
1 times
0.
0. So you got it as 1 times 2 is 3. 3 minus, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 plus 0. So this is equal to 2 minus 2 is 0. So what is the work done? What is the work done?
0.
What does that mean? There is force and there is displacement, but the work done by the force is 0. Why it will happen so? There is force, non-zero force, non-zero displacement, but the work done by that force is 0. What does that mean? When will two vectors scalar product become 0? If the scalar product is 0, what can you say about those two vectors? You can say that
They are in the same direction.
if they are in the same direction, angle between them is 0. Cos 0 is 1. So it cannot be.
Opposite direction.
Opposite direction, cos 180 is minus 1, not 0.
90.
90-degree, they are perpendicular to each other. So if you take the dot product or scalar product of two vectors, and if it turns out to be 0, you can tell that they are perpendicular to each other. So here the force applied is not 0 and the displacement is not 0, but the work done is 0, means the force and displacement are perpendicular to direction. For example, I take a book, I put it like this on my hand, and so the force applied on the book is upwards. I'm applying force upwards and I'm walking horizontally. So what is the work done on the book by my hand? 0, because the force is applied upwards and the displacement of the book is horizontal. The force is applied in the vertical direction, but the displacement is in the horizontal direction. So here, the work done by my hand on the book will be 0. Is that clear to you? So whenever the force and the displacement are perpendicular to each other, in the case of book was, the force was applying upwards and the displacement was horizontal. The angle between them is 90 degrees. So the work done by my hand on the book was 0 while it was displacing. So just, it turned out that the result is 0, so that we could discuss that and make it more clear. So whenever the scalar product is 0, you can say that the two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Is it clear to you? And there is no time left to discuss the vector or cross product. So I'll do that in the next class.